The story begins with Yuki and the others cleaning up the class before their classmates arrive. They compliment him for his housekeeping skills. Later that day, Yuki finds himself being teleported to another world as a Medo mishap occurs, and he is instructed to hide until the Demon Defense Force arrives to rescue him. Unfortunately, he is instantly spotted by a Shuki who tries to attack him and chases him into a corner. Just in time, Hyuka intervenes with her Shuki and slices it down with her sword. As they get outnumbered, they make a run for it and end up being chased by the Shuki. Himari, Shishu, and Need arrive, shooting down the Shuki from their vehicle, and they reveal that they have also saved the little boy. As the boy regains consciousness, he inquires about his sister. Hyuka and Yuki spot the boy's sister running from a Shuki. She rescues her and creates a force field around the three of them. As they run out of time, Hyuka offers Yuki the chance to become her slave, promising him incredible powers to fight the Shuki. Initially he hesitates, but with some pressure he complies. She sticks out her finger and he instinctively licks it, transforming him into a giant muscular beast. He then uses his incredible strength to take down the Shuki while carrying Hyuka and the little boy to safety. They manage to escape, but the Shuki fuse into one humongous creature, but the creature is no match for Yuki's brute strength. After taking down the giant, she asks the others for some privacy and proceeds to kiss Yuki. He resists, but she explains it's not something she can control because it is a reward for his work, and she continues to kiss him. After that, she explains how the real world is in danger of Shuki attacks. She expresses her intention to become the Supreme Commander and lead the Demon Defense Force, saying that it won't be possible without him, and requests him to fight by her side to ensure her success. Hyuka takes Yuki to the Demon Defense Force's dorm and introduces him to the others, and announces his recruitment. They find it odd to adjust to a man, but eventually they agree. We see Yuki cleaning the 7th Squad dormitory, but a Shuki appears and charges at him, and it is blocked by the dorm barrier. Need arrives and explains that there are so many Shuki in the area because 7th Squad's dormitory is in one of the most active regions of Mado. Himari also appears and kills Shuki with her weapon and ridicules Yuki for slacking off. She then orders him to prepare dinner. While Yuki prepares the food, he senses being watched but finds nothing. During the meal, members of 7th Squad praise his cooking, as well as the cleaning work, so they assign him some more work. He confronts Kyoka and expresses his desire to assist her in field work, but Kyoka dismisses it. He argues but stops when Himari turns her arm into a sword and points at him. While cleaning, Yuki stumbles upon Himari bathing in the hot springs. He gets embarrassed and hides, but Shushu confronts him, whose abilities allow her to shrink and spy on Yuki without his noticing. She returns to full size and takes a picture of Yuki and threatens to show the picture to Hyuka, unless he promises to become her slave as well. As Yuki cleans Shushu's room, he tries to think of a way to delete the photo without her realizing. She then begins teasing him and he tries to swipe her phone but instead grabs her underwear. She again snaps a photo of him and starts blackmailing. He then sees Kyuka and Himari training. Suddenly a Shuki appears, so Kyuka begins fighting it herself, defeating it single-handedly in order to show Himari how to fight hand-to-hand. Ni informs Yuki that she, Himari, and Kyuko would be leaving for a meeting, leaving him and Shushu in charge alone. Shushu forces Yuki to give her a shoulder massage, asking him how he is so good at them, so he explains that he used to give them to his sister all the time. Shushu then suggests they play a fighting game in which the loser strips off a piece of their clothing every time they lose. Hilariously, Yuki failed to win a single game, leading him being naked while Shushu was still fully clothed. However, they are interrupted by a massive Shuki attacking the base. Shushu then uses her power, which she names Paradigm Shift, to grow to the size of the Shuki and fights it. She continuously increases her size while attacking the Shuki and defeats it. However, another massive Shuki appears, growing to an even larger size than the last one. She again uses Paradigm Shift to grow in size, but her ability doesn't work for some reason. Yuki is unable to transform without Kyuka, so he decides to kiss something which belongs to Kyuka to transform. He transforms by kissing her boots, and defeats the Shuki and transforms back into his human form. Kyuka and the others return, and Kyuka gives Yuki a massage due to injuring himself during the transformation. Kyuka then orders Shushu to thank Yuki for his assistance by helping him with his caretaker work. We see another squad of Defense Force members running from the Shuki, but they get caught, and one of the Shuki is about to eat a girl, but a woman stops it and says that she knows Yuki is present in Mado. Yuki returns to the human world using the fixed Mado gate at the 5th unit dorm in Yamagata, and meets Kyuka, who is wearing normal clothes. They visit a graveyard, and she reveals that this is the burial site of Kyuka's family and friends who were attacked by a powerful Shuki known as the Unicorn. However, he was able to escape, and she expresses her hatred for the Shuki and vows to cut it to pieces. They go to a restaurant, and Yuki shares about how he lost his sister in a Mato Gate incident, so he understands how she feels. As the two are enjoying themselves, Kyuka's phone suddenly rings with a conch shell noise which signifies an emergency, so they rush back to Mato. It is revealed that a large, nest-like group of Shuki is discovered nearby. The squad then goes to investigate and finds the nest. However, they suddenly get attacked, and it is revealed to be from the unicorn Shuki, and shockingly the mysterious woman is riding it. She attacks them, so Kyuka and Yuki go to attack, asking the woman who she is. She tells them that she's the Demon Defense Force's archenemy, and asked about her brother. She keeps talking about her brother, and eventually going to say his name, but gets interrupted by a Shuki. She gives him a death stare, which reminds Yuki of his own sister. She captures Yuki in his Shuki form. They almost recognize each other, but Kyuka frees Yuki. She gets injured from Kyuka's attack, so she retreats, leaving Kyuka determined to hunt them down. Back at the dorm, Kyuka rewards Yuki by stepping on him and calls him a perv. They discuss the mission, and Yuki shares his suspicions about the mysterious girl resembling his missing sister. Kyuka speculates on the girl's unusual strength and her possession of multiple peaches. Yuki, preparing food, contemplates the mysterious girl's resemblance to his sister. Ni consoles Yuki, praising his battlefield performance, and offers to help him cook, to which Yuki agrees. Meanwhile, somewhere in Mato, the mystery girl carves a picture of Yuki in slave form, expressing her joy at seeing him again. In the hot spring, Yuki reflects on the need to become stronger to face the unicorn Shuki. Shushu interrupts him, expressing gratitude and offering to wash his back. Yuki discovers Shushu's playful deception and accidentally sees her naked. He gets panicked and runs into the girl's changing room where he encounters Himari changing clothes. A portal then suddenly opens and Tenka Izumo and Himari's sister Yachigo Azuma from the 6th unit arrive. Tenka recognizes Yuki as Kyuka's slave and asks him to go get Kyuka, while Himari glares at her sister. We see a meeting regarding the appearance of the humanoid Shuki. It's revealed that their appearance is causing the Demon Defense Force to act more cohesively. Yachiho criticizes the 7th unit for not destroying the humanoid Shuki and shaming Himari for her previous encounter with it. The discussion shifts to the 3rd unit's injuries from a different humanoid Shuki, prompting the acknowledgement that units must work together. Yachiho interjects, criticizing Kyuka's vice chief, fueling tension with Himari. Kyuka proposes participating in the Mato exhibition games, and the suggestion met with approval from Tenka. Kyuka plans to clear it with higher-ups, and Tenka prepares her unit for the match. As they leave, Yuki wonders about the nature of the games, and Himari approaches Yuki, declaring that he must become her slave. The scene shifts to Himari eating ramen served by Yuki, judging him worthy of being her slave. Kyuka informs them that the games would be one-on-one peach ability battles to settle disputes on patrol. Himari displays her true skill, learning, which enables her to make use of the powers of others. The discovery deepens her character, and the two meet a swarm of Shuki. Himari starts the slave contract with Yuki, who hesitates but agrees after the conditions are clarified. Yuki changes into slave Roland after an encounter with more Shuki, displaying increased speed. Himari is impressed and believes that this power would help her fight Yachiho. However, the humiliating nature of the slave reward, involving an awkward interaction, adds a comical element. As they travel back, Yuki tells Himari to look for another power, but she remains committed to slave despite the humiliating rewards. Himari discusses her family's expectations and her struggle to meet them. Despite the humiliation, she is determined to achieve her goal. At the 7th unit dorm, Himari explains to Yuki the importance of the games improving herself outside the Azuma estate. Himari declares her desire to be a hero like Kyuka, connecting her aims with Yuki's. They discuss the need for a finishing move, which makes Yuki comprehend the value of planning beyond pure power. Himari reveals Yachivo's ability, Golden Hour, which regulates time, and they plan to exploit its limitations. Himari and Yuki are working on a finishing move to counter Yachivo's talents. Their collaboration deepens as they experiment with various ways, and Kyuka offers advice on how to focus Yuki's power. Yachivo's viewpoint and determination to exert her power over Himari become clear. Himari, in turn, continues to strategize with Shushu, introducing a new technique to gain an advantage. We are then introduced to Sahara Wakasa from the 6th unit who came to distress before the match. She interacts with Himari and Shushu. Yachiho and Himari speaks before the match and remember their childhood. Yuki then arrives, telling Himari not to worry since they'll definitely win. The two then arrive at the scene of the match, with the arena being set up by Jinabaisen's barrier ability. It also ensures that all damage will be healed after the match. The match then begins with Himari and Yachivo up first. Yuki transforms and the pair prepare to fight. The two immediately got the upper hand on Yachivo with Yuki's speed, prompting her to rewind time by 5 seconds. Yachivo teases that she discovered a new aspect of her ability which she calls prime time. We find Himari, Shushu, and Sahara preparing for the Meido exhibition games. Himari, curious about her sister Yachivo's special training, learns from Sahara that Yachivo hasn't done anything unusual. This revelation sparks frustration in Himari, who feels underestimated by her sister. The first match commences with Himari and Yuki facing off against Yachivo. Yachivo unveils a specialized gun intended to stop time and shoot down her opponents. However, Himari and Yuki manages to avoid her attacks, making her waste use of her time-manipulating ability, Golden Hour. The battle intensifies as Himari and Yuki implement a strategy to exploit the limitations of Yachivo's powers. She reveals Prime Time technique, which doubles her time manipulation abilities. Despite Himari's resilience, Yachivo gains the upper hand, leaving Himari and Yuki badly beaten. In a moment of despair, Himari contemplates giving up, but Yuki encourages her to keep fighting. They rally and stand up to face Yachivo once more. Confident in her abilities, Yachivo activates Golden Hour again. However, Yuki surprises her by undoing his transformation, creating a smokescreen. In the ensuing chaos, Himari strategically positions herself, leaving Yachivo astonished by her resilience and defiance. Himari emerges victorious, impressing onlookers and proving her growth. Yachivo acknowledges Himari's strength, expresses kindness, and hopes for her return to the Azuma estate, but Himari firmly rejects the offer. After the match, as the 6th unit celebrates, Yuki and Himari share a moment in the dorm's kitchen. Himari expresses her gratitude to Yuki for his help and rewards him with a peculiar kiss as a slave reward. Meanwhile, Tenka discusses Yachivo's match with Himari, emphasizing Yuki's role as a true slave. Unbeknownst to Himari and Yuki, Shushu has been listening in on them and discovers the nature of the slave reward, contemplating how unfair it is. Later, with the entirety of the 6th and 7th units gathered, Jinabaizen announces the start of the second match of the Meido exhibition games, which will be between Shushu and Sahara. The second match of the Meido exhibition games between Shushu and Sahara is about to start. Before entering the ring, Shushu expresses her determination to Yuki and asks him to appreciate her efforts, confusing him. The match begins with both fighters agreeing not to use their abilities initially, given their similar combat styles. However, Sahara soon decides to use her ability, Crazy Sheep, to enhance her strength. In response, Shushu activates her paradigm shift, growing to giant size. Sahara evades Shushu's attacks with her enhanced strength from Crazy Sheep, impressing the rest of the 7th unit. Shushu struggles to keep up with Sahara's speed and agility, but after regaining confidence from seeing Yuki, she continues the fight. Shushu grows even larger and launches herself at Sahara, attempting to crush her. Although Sahara initially appears defeated, she unexpectedly rises to her feet with a surge of strength. Now unconscious but still fighting, Sahara overwhelms Shushu with her enhanced abilities. Despite Shushu's efforts, she is ultimately defeated by Sahara's unconscious onslaught. After the match, Shushu apologizes to Kyuka for her loss and feels upset about exposing her vulnerability to Yuki. Meanwhile, Ni discovers a mysterious girl and woman during a scan of the area who seem aware of being observed. Feeling despondent over her loss, Shushu is comforted by Yuki, who praises her performance and expresses interest in her wrestling moves. In a surprising move, Shushu kisses Yuki before explaining it as a way to alleviate the shock of her defeat. Despite Yuki's confusion, Shushu reflects on her inability to share her true feelings with him until he holds her in higher regard. Outside the dorm, a group of Shuki charges towards the members of the 6th and 7th units, but Jinna's barrier swiftly destroys them upon impact. However, a mysterious figure named Raren appears and effortlessly breaks down the barrier, declaring the units obsolete and destined for destruction. As Shuki swarm through the breach, Hyu announces a hold on the matches, with Shushu and Yuki joining the fray. Shushu grows to giant size, prepared for battle, while Tenka escorts Ni and Jinna inside the dorm to gather information on the enemy. In the midst of the chaos, Himari fires at the Shuki, but Raren intervenes, summoning lightning to incinerate her. Yachivo leaps to her rescue, and realizing the threat Raren poses, she prepares to confront him. Meanwhile, Hyuko rides atop the transformed Yuki, fighting off the Shuki alongside Himari. As the situation intensifies, Himari urges Kyuka to ride on top of Yuki as well, knowing it will strengthen Yuki's form. Together, they unleash Yuki's devastating howling attack, decimating the Shuki with a powerful energy beam. Inside the 7th unit dorm, Jinna watches the battle unfold with Ni's assistance, witnessing Kyuka's formidable fighting style and Yuki's incredible power. Jinna learns that Shuki can only be destroyed through peach blessings obtained from Mido, except for Kyuka, who developed her own method of combat against them. Excited to witness Kyuka's prowess, Jinna marvels at the display of strength and strategy. Meanwhile, Yachivo continues her battle against Raren, narrowly dodging his attacks. Despite Raren's overwhelming power, Yachivo uses her unique ability to rewind time by 5 seconds, narrowly evading his fiery onslaught. Exhausted but determined, Yachivo is relieved when Tenka arrives to take over the fight, leaving her to rest. As Raren eagerly anticipates the battle ahead, Tenka confidently prepares to face him head-on, aware of the other formidable individuals nearby. Tenka confronts Raren, who expresses anger over having only 2 targets. Although Tenka is unsure of what Raren means by targets, she suspects it may refer to the chiefs. Raren launches a lightning bolt at her, seemingly disintegrating her, but Tenka surprises him by attacking from behind. However, Raren manages to dodge her attack, boasting about his invincible body. Despite this, Tenka uses her peach blessing to dodge Raren and fireballs and create a vortex that damages him. Meanwhile, Ni and Jinna observe the battle, marveling at Tenka's peach blessing, which allows her to manipulate space. Tenka creates a massive vortex that sucks in Raren and the surrounding Shuki, seemingly destroying them all. She remarks that defenses are meaningless against her ability to tear space apart. Back at the 7th Unit dorm, Tenka's victory is celebrated by her comrades who have successfully eliminated all enemies. However, they are uncertain about the fate of the other enemy commanders. Despite Ni's apologies for not finding them in time, Kyuka and Tenka reassure her that she did her best given the enemy's capabilities. They reflect on the challenging task of making their report and a tie in the Motto exhibition games. Later, as Himari thanks Yachivo for her support during the battle, Yachivo once again asks her to return home. Despite Himari's refusal, Yachivo remains determined. The 6th Unit then departs, leaving behind lingering tension. Back at the 7th Unit dorm, Himari reluctantly fulfills Yuki's slave reward, stripping indignantly as she does so. Kyuka also participates, albeit begrudgingly, prompting Yuki to realize that both women will join him in the hot spring for his reward. In the bath, Kyuka and Himari wash Yuki's body, surprised that this is his reward. Despite their attempts to downplay the situation, Yuki enjoys the relaxing experience. However, they acknowledge the toll on him from their earlier exploits and agree to limit such activities in the future. Meanwhile, Ni shares a drawing of 2 enemy commanders with Yuki and Himari, speculating on their identities. However, Yuki's attention shifts to the absence of his sister and the possibility of her involvement with another group elsewhere. The enemy commanders regroup at their base, including Raren, who survived the battle. Despite his protests, Shikoku insists on retreating and strategizing further before engaging the Anti-Demon Corps again. Raren reluctantly agrees, but tensions rise as Shikoku reveals her interest in complex souls. Back at the 7th Unit dorm, Tenka keeps a watchful eye on Yuki as he sleeps. At the 6th Unit dorm, Tenka meets Kyuka, Yuki, and Himari. Tenka is intrigued by Yuki. Kyuka and Tenka have a meeting while Himari is told to socialize with the other members of the 6th Unit. Yuki and Himari explore the dormitory, with Yuki noticing how clean it is. He accidentally stumbles upon a room filled with pictures of Himari at different stages of her life, which disturbs him. Realizing it belongs to Yachivo, he rushes away and encounters Sahara sleeping in her underwear. Embarrassed, Yuki tries to cover her with a blanket, but Sahara unconsciously pulls him closer. Despite his attempts to escape, Yuki finds himself trapped and gives up. Later, Sahara apologizes to Yuki and they come across Himari waiting outside Yachivo's room. Yachivo is seen exercising rigorously. Sahara asks Himari if she respects her sister, and Himari acknowledges Yachivo's determination. Sahara suggests that Himari's ability comes from her desire to learn from Yachivo, while Yachivo's ability comes from her desire to spend time with Himari. Himari denies this, and they witness a playful quarrel between Yachivo and Himari. Meanwhile, Kyuka and Tenka discuss their strategies to deal with Shuki and humanoid Shuki. Tenka makes a bold request to have Kyuka's slave. Tenka once again requests to have Yuki join her 6th Unit as a loyal companion. However, Kyuka declines the offer, citing the ongoing threat of the humanoid Shuki. Tenka tries to sway Kyuka by offering support in the next commander election, but Kyuka remains steadfast in her determination to achieve success on her own merits. Later, Kyuka and Himari inform Yuki about Tenka's interest in him as a pet, but Yuki insists on staying with the 7th Unit despite feeling conflicted. Yuki is adamant about his desire to be seen as a hero, not a pet. Unexpectedly, Tenka appears in Yuki's room and confesses her feelings for him, expressing that she sees him as more than just a pet. Their encounter escalates as they share a passionate kiss and she begins to undress him, only to be interrupted by Shushu. Following the interruption, Tenka continues to flirt with Yuki, stirring up feelings of jealousy in Kyuka. After Tenka's departure, the 7th unit tests Yuki's new forms with the slave ability, with Ni rewarding him with a kiss. Yuki grapples with the idea of receiving rewards from Ni and Shushu, while Kyuka clarifies the slave reward requirement to Ni and apologizes for any misunderstandings. The training concludes with Kyuka deciding to focus on training Yuki's form with Nei and occasionally with Shushu. Nei travels to the human world for school with Yuki accompanying her. She reveals her desire to find her missing parents and believes that being part of the Anti-Demon Corps will help her in her search. She tells Yuki about mysterious calls from Meido disaster victims and their hope for survival. Yuki shares his belief in the survival of his own sister. Kyuka and Tenka discuss their recent orders regarding negotiation with the humanoid Shuki. Tenka suggests that the 6th unit will cooperate with the 7th unit. Back in Mado, the 7th unit engages in battle with a Shuki, ultimately defeating it with Yuki's finishing move. Meanwhile, Shikoku observes from afar, plotting her next move, and Tenka eagerly anticipates spending more time with Yuki. Yuki and Kyuka return from their mission to exterminate the Shuki army successfully. As they return, Izumo waits with the rest of her squad, Ni, Himari, and Shushu. The group then begins discussing Yuki's sister, Alba Wakara, and learns what happened during the Meido mishap. After hearing how much Alba cared for Yuki growing up, the rest of the squad acknowledged her as a good sister. Kyuka then gives Yuki the rest of the day off before telling Izumo to return to her dorm. Ni detects someone in danger 4 kilometers from the base, forcing Kyuka to send Himari and Shushu to investigate. They discover Shuki chasing a human girl. They are able to destroy the Shuki successfully. However, as they approach the human girl, she reveals her identity as a humanoid Shuki. The humanoid Shuki then summons another Shuki before revealing her name as Koko. Himari tries to act within the Supreme Commander's parameters and negotiate with the Shuki, but Koko rejects it. Elsewhere, Kyuka gets Yuki and tells him he needs to transform immediately. Meanwhile, Koko summons an abnormally tough Shuki named Kuma, forcing Himari to pull out the heavy artillery. Shushu eliminates all the regular Shuki before being rushed at by a new kind of humanoid Shuki wielding a weapon. Suddenly, Alba Wakara appears in front of Kyuka and Yuki, eating a Meido peach. However, Kyuka and Yuki dodged, but then Alba commands Yuki to stop, which he listens to surprisingly. Alba then captures him with her hair, saying her mission is complete as regular Shuki attacks Kyuka. While Kyuka dealt with the Shuki, Alba and Yuki vanished like the Shuki fighting Shushu. Yuki awakens to Koko licking his face. The other humanoid Shuki appears and preys Koko away. Yuki finally sees his sister as the humanoid Shuki she is as Alba embraces him. The two go for a walk outside, and Alba explains to Yuki that they're in a hidden village outside the Demon Defense Force's range. Alba tells Yuki that 20 former humans live in the village, prompting Koko and the other Shuki named Nao to reintroduce themselves. Alba explains to Yuki that while their outward appearance may resemble Shuki, their human souls remain intact. Alba asks Yuki to live here, telling him how peaceful it is as she hopes to reunite with her brother. However, Yuki refuses and tries to appeal to their human nature, which infuriates the trio. Alba also tells Yuki how the Meido peaches turned them into the hybrid Shuki. At last, the trio declares that the defense force is their enemy, and a battle between them is now unavoidable. Meanwhile, Himari and Shushu are healed by Meido bandages, and Kyuka informs them that her body is moving on its own, indicating that Yuki's transformation has been undone. The 6th unit agrees to help rescue Yuki. We see Yuki inquire about her powers and the Meido peaches, and Alba reveals that the peaches are what caused her and the others to take their hybrid forms. Nain recounts her transformation into a humanoid Shuki to Yuki, Alba, and Koko. 3 years ago, Nain, working as a model in the human world, found herself transported to Meido during a Meido disaster, chased by Shuki. She consumed a peach in desperation, resulting in her partial transformation. Rescued by the Amu Agency, Nain became a research subject due to her unique condition. In the present, Yuka learns of Nain's past and the mistreatment she endured at the hands of the Amu Agency. Despite Yuki's desire to seek help from the Anti-Demon Corps, Nain reveals that their influence makes it challenging to challenge the agency's actions. Koko passionately declares their intent to destroy the agency, but Yuki suggests seeking help from the Anti-Demon Corps instead. As tensions rise, the 7th and 6th units of the Anti-Demon Corps, led by Kyuka, close in on Yuki's location. They navigate through the hidden village caves, encountering a team of Shuki led by Alba. Eventually, Kyuka and Tenka locate Yuki, triggering a confrontation between Alba and the Anti-Demon Corps. Amidst the chaos, Yuki's attempts to reason with Alba are met with resistance, leading to a clash between Alba, Kyuka, and Tenka. Alba's determination to fight against the Anti-Demon Corps persists, fueled by her desire to find a cure for their condition. Despite Yuki's pleas for peace, Alba remains resolute in her decision to confront their adversaries. Meanwhile, Shushu and Sahara face off against Koko and Kumadoji in a fierce battle, with both sides showcasing their unique abilities. The conflict escalates as they strive for victory. As tensions mount and alliances shift, the stage is set for a dramatic showdown between the humanoid Shuki and the Anti-Demon Corps. At the dorm, Nee is worried about the squad and hopes they will come safe. We then return to Alba versus Kyuka and Tenka. Kyuka fighting the Unicorn while Tenka handles Alba. Alba struggles to counter Tenka, but she realizes that she can only teleport, so Alba uses her speed to counter Tenka's attack. She almost landed a hit on her, but she dodges at the last moment. Alba consumes another Mato Peach that causes her powers to increase, forcing Tenka to take a step back. She continues to teleport away, and Alba still tries to land a hit on her. Koko uses her Peach ability, but Shushu throws a boulder towards her. However, Kumadoji comes to Koko's aid and fights Shushu, allowing Koko to recover. Shushu expresses her desire to save Yuki, which Koko overhears. Koko reveals that she has already healed Yuki and that their boss is treating him kindly. As tensions rise, Sahara realizes that Kumadoji might be responsible for a previous disaster. Shushu and Sahara vow to defeat Koko and Kumadoji. Shushu shares their attack plan formations with Sahara before making a sudden retreat. Shushu shrinks down and is chased by Koko and Kumadoji. Shushu disappears, leaving only Sahara in sight. Kumadoji lunges at Sahara, but Sahara throws the miniaturized Shushu at him. Inside Kumadoji's body, Shushu grows and defeats him. Sahara then attacks Koko, using one of Kumadoji's fangs to cut through her slippery skin and defeat her. Meanwhile, we see Nain appears out of nowhere and attacks Yachivo, but Himari blocks the attack with her sword and states it's now her turn to protect her big sister. She then tells about her secret weapon and turns her hair into multiple weapons and attacks blindly. This exposes Nain, allowing Yachivo to use her prime time ability, and this ruins the time by 10 seconds and they defeat her. We see Tenka continues to dodge and plans to wait for the right moment to attack, while Kyuka fights the Unicorn. Alba mistakenly kicks the Unicorn, fooled by Tenka's transportation ability. Kyuka strikes Alba with her sword, disrupting her rhythm, then fights Unicorn. Tenka injures Alba with a fierce vortex but hesitates to finish her off due to concern for Yuki's sister. Alba surprises Tenka with a powerful energy blast and defeats her. Tenka confesses her reluctance to harm Yuki's feelings, which Alba appreciates. Kyuka tends to Tenka's wounds, and although she can't fight anymore, Alba plans to continue attacking the Amu Agency, opposed by Kyuka. Koko and Nain report their defeat to Alba on Kumadoji. Himari, Yachivo, Shushu, and Sahara rush to protect Yuki, while Alba refused to surrender. The cave shakes, revealing Shikoku and Juryu as the Thunder Gods. Alba seeks help from Kitamaru and Kumadoji, while Sahara, Himari, Shushu, and Yachivo also join the attack. However, they are repelled by Juryu's shockwave. Alba fights back despite her injuries, but Kitamaru betrays her due to Shikoku's snake bite. Kitamaru then targets Alba, leading Yuki to transform and confront him. We see Kyuka's past. She is a simple girl living in a small but happy village. However, everything changes when the Unicorn attacks, killing everyone except her. In the present, Kyuka lunges at the Unicorn with her blade while Yuki limits his movements, but they are shoved aside. Yuki is able to put all his training to good use as he channels all his power into his fist before punching the Unicorn, successfully destroying some of his fingers. Kyuka urges him to keep it up as his attacks are damaging it. However, their plans are halted when the creature transforms into a bigger and grotesque form. The Unicorn then attacks Yuki and Kyuka, knocking them both back. Seeing as his previous tactic worked, Yuki channels power into his mouth and bites its horn, successfully restraining it. Kyuka then attacks the Shuki, cutting off its horn and one of its arms. The damage forces it to transform back into its original form. Yuki uses his chain to hold it while Kyuka unveils her new move, Howling Cherry Blossom, and attacks the Shuki. She remembers all her dead relatives, channeling all her power into the skill. She successfully kills the creature. Kyuka relishes her victory and dedicates it to her people. During Kyuka and Yuki's heated battle against the Unicorn, Shikoku and Juryu watch the battle. Meanwhile, the latter leaves with Koko and Nao as prisoners. Tenka transports the others back to base, leaving her Yuki, Alba, and Kyuka present. Tenka asks Alba what she would do, but she replies that she will rescue Koko and Nan. Kyuka offers their help in rescuing her friends, but she refuses, saying she trusts them but not the agency. Kyuka and Tenka agree with her decision not to trust the agency, Both Tenka and Kyuka question Supreme Commander Yamashiro's methods and ruthless behavior. Following this, Aoba leaves, planning on visiting the nearby villages to make more allies. Tenka, Yuki, and Kyuka return to base, where they are greeted by Nii, who is happy they made it back. Later on, Kyuka asks Yuki to come to her room later for his reward. Elsewhere, it is revealed that the Thunder Gods brought Koko and Nain back as nutrients for their god. The god is revealed to be an egg with tentacles. Nain and Koko are seemingly fed to the beast, with Shikoku announcing that something interesting will be born. As the squad celebrate their victory, the scene shifts to Kyuka promising Aoba she will become the Supreme Commander. Tenka visits Yuki in his room, asking for a reward, but Kyuka interrupts them, forcing Tenka to leave. We see Yuki training hard with Himawari with a new goal: saving his sister, while the 7th squad battling with some Shuki while Aoba watches them afar. And that's how the season ends. Let me know what you think about this anime, and as always leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.